Hail Internet! It's Paul. It's Matt! The Dork Lords. We are here talking about Counterpart. Season 1, Episode 7. Getting close to the end with only 10 episodes.
Yes.
This was Episode 7, The Sincerest Form of Flattery. Which doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure out is imitation.
What?
I know. What? I'm spoilers. Okay. Why did the chicken cross the road? Okay, so
Don't tell me.
That spoiler alert. It didn't actually cross the road. It was a mirror version of a chicken that showed up on the other side of the road. People assumed it had crossed. Okay, this episode, interestingly, does not include our hero. I count the hero as Prime Howard, and he is not in this episode at all. This is a Meet Your Villain show. Very cool show.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very interesting, engaging, and we learn a lot about the little world building, a little background about why Mirror World hates Prime World.
Yes.
So it's basically all about Claire and Claire's background and upbringing. We made a few theories on Claire and her relationship to Quayle last week. And I thought
Yes, you were more
good.
right than me, I think.
Okay, I'm like the idea of probably they didn't just insert mirror Claire into Prime World and then hoped she'd get together with Quayle. Like they waited until Prime Claire is in a relationship with now. We'll switch you over, and he's going to be connected to the strategy. It'll be great. We also wondered whether Claire, it was before or after the kid, and I think we theorized it was probably before the kid because then she would have an attachment to this baby.
Yes.
Which is true. She does have an attachment to this kid. Also, who was it? Rommel Fox on our comments noted correctly that there was a mention in one of the episodes where Heinrich, the butcher, mentions, oh yeah, this mole has been feeding info to Pope for a long time now.
Right.
So in other words, implication being it wasn't like she just came over in the last year. She's been there for a while.
Yes.
And so, yes, she had been. So we know she came over as an adult, but in this case, we didn't theorize that she was going to get there right before they got married, but she actually jumps in after post-engagement.
Yes.
Breakup, then pre-new engagement. All right. Anyway, so we start with little Claire. I don't know how old she is at that point. She's probably
less than
9, maybe.
Yeah,
9-ish.
not quite pubescent.
And she is standing over in a large hangar filled with dead bodies and in bags,
Blue body bags.
and there's a guy with the gear, and he's like, "Those your parents? All right, great.
Sign up.
Sign.
Sign here.
A sign." And so, obviously, horribly tragic. It is the flu pandemic that has killed her parents. And so, actually, let's just mention this while we get it. So, the little chronology bits we confirm in this show. They were hinted at earlier, but they're pretty much spelled out, black and white. 87. According to the Mirror School.
Sure.
So, it could be either they don't know correct information or they're lying, but I feel like that sounds about right.
Yeah, you wouldn't want them to run around like, wait a minute, one bit of information is wrong that you don't need to lie about.
Right. So 87 is when the crossing was discovered, and then everything post that discovery went along just fine, not branching off until 96 when this flu wiped out millions and billions, whatever, a whole bunch of folks, 7% I think it was of the population. And that's when these two worlds, Mirror and Prime, split off and started, their histories started changing. And so that 96 flu pandemic, Mirror Universe blames it on the Prime Universe. They think it was an intentional act of some kind of sabotage. And so, vengeance. So, pretty much immediately, that's kind of interesting too, how quickly there was a school in place and they got everything set and they're like, we're doing this.
Well, we don't know how much time has passed between those events.
Well, it's just that she was like a little kid and her parents died.
Right.
And I thought that was around 96. I mean, I think it was right around the first...
Right, yeah. Well, we
and
don't
so
know.
they take her to a school.
Right. We don't know how if she was like in foster homes in between then or whatever.
Okay.
It does seem like
she
it's
looked
really
about
new,
the same
though.
age.
Yeah.
Just saying, maybe...
Around the same age, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Just interesting that they maybe already had something in place. It wasn't like, oh my
right.
God, we had a flu pandemic. Get the school going.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like, oh, the school's in place already. Perfect. I don't know. Anyway, maybe that's a...
Yeah, we were teaching kids to be killers for a different reason.
Right.
Now you've got this
exactly.
reason.
Now we have the flu thing.
Yeah.
Which obviously is going to be a big reveal at some point. Whether it's this season, it may not be this season. If it's this season, it would probably be, we're talking episode 10, but we're going to maybe do a flashback to what really happened when the flu thing happened. I would say, I mean, there's 3 choices. One of them seems really unlikely, which is that it's an accident. I don't buy that. I think
I think you can express it even though like, oh, it just happened.
Sure.
Without even any
Okay, I got
action.
you.
Something happened.
Did it just happen?
Weird.
Probably not. I'm going to say also because of the fact that these apparently were on identical tracks.
Right.
So the fact that theoretically these worlds were being identical until this moment, something had to make it unidentical.
Right.
So I'm of the camp, I think the most likely thing is that Prime side, somebody from the Prime side, maybe not a governmental decision, but like a private actor like Prime Pope, we haven't ever met him, maybe decides let's strike first. This whole thing is about a Cold War setting, a la East and West Berlin and the Cold War, and the whole point about Cold War was first strike. If you strike first, then they're going to come back and wipe you out. So let's just keep things as they are. Well, maybe I feel like in this case, Prime Universe said, let's first strike it. Or somebody from the Prime Universe took that step and introduced this pathogen. The other possibility would be that some lunatic from the Mirror side decided to push things along. Like they wanted this fight. And so they're like, all right, look, they attacked us. We should fight them back. And so they basically sabotage themselves.
Is that called a false flag?
So I think one of those two things, because I don't think it's just a natural occurrence. I think one of those two things will probably come to pass, and we will see that perhaps in episode 10, but maybe they save that for a season 2 reveal. So, anyway, whatever the purpose, whatever the cause, there's a whole big faction in the Mirror Universe. It's like, boo, Prime Universe, we must kill them all. And so the school...
Big enough, anyway.
Yeah. So the school, which we had heard about, and we remember with the 3 terrorists that came over, they had the ringleader.
Yes.
The ringleader woman who recognized Claire and was like, oh, I was in a class below you. Oh, and she couldn't stop talking about you. You're famous. The she that's being mentioned there is this woman named Mira. You pointed out this version of Mirror. What? What? So anyway, Mira is crazy. Okay, no. At first, it seems like it's
she's a very nurturing craze.
She's a nurturing crazy.
Alternately with the abuse, which is the best way to be.
Apparently.
Nurturingly crazy.
Creepy.
You get the best buys that way.
Remember how we were talking about how, like, oh, look, how the show has a way to make just normal things be really creepy. Yeah. Oh, look, it's an orphanage, and they're just helping out the creepy. Okay. So, yeah, it feels almost like a Professor X, come to my school for gifted kids thing for a while, And then it's not. So, yeah, the first hint we get that things are not totally on the level is when Mira, in a very comforting way, is sitting with newly bereft of her parents, Claire.
Yeah, difficulty fitting in with these new kids.
Oh, you're having hard. Oh, wow.
Everybody's in the same boat as you. They all have dead parents.
Yeah.
Apparently.
So what you need to do is take that pain you're feeling and just turn it into rage. Like, how do I do that? Oh, we'll show you. Like, okay. Well, I don't remember getting that lesson when I was in 3rd grade. I don't remember they ball that into a rage lesson.
Sick that day?
Yeah. So that's a clue that all's not perfect with this school. Then later we get a little drop where they're playing hide and seek in the school. People are running around with flashlights, and
Great for spying.
Right, yeah, maybe it's a spying training.
Yeah.
Nothing is by coincidence.
And I think that shows how Claire really is attracted to bad spies. Because the guy's like, turn off your flashlight. No one will ever find us in here.
She is attracted to bad spies, or is placed with bad spies.
That's she fond of.
Yeah.
She got rid of that guy.
She was fond of
placed
Spencer.
with that
Right.
guy. No, she liked Spencer.
So Spencer is her very good friend. Her one particular friend in the school.
Yes.
But he drops this piece of info. He knows info that at least at that point she doesn't.
Right.
Which is, he's got these braces. She's like, I like your braces. He's like,
really?
Yeah, really? Wow. You know, they're not, actually, I don't even need them.
No.
I'm like, well, why the hell do you, okay. Yeah, obvious follow-up question. Why do you wear them? He's like, oh, well, you know, my shadow wears them, so I have to, and she yep. Yeah, no follow-ups there. What? I don't. Oh, okay.
They haven't told you? No,
yeah,
he was not.
right. No,
He was just sort of like, oh, they haven't told you, huh?
Get out. No, he doesn't.
Yes.
You still have time. So that's another like what moment. But she takes it in stride and goes about her days, and then you get the okay, all right. The big moment is the come with me. Oh, yeah, well, okay, sure. You know, it's just basically the mother figure she knows. So
yes.
It's like, I trust you implicitly.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Walk into surgery, the doctor thing. Okay, there's really no other way to say this.
She doesn't even say that.
Does she not? I thought she kind of
no.
said, like, we have to just say it outright, or no? Or did she not say that?
She just,
Okay.
you know,
We have to-
she's good at not being around the bush, boy. We're going to break your legs.
We have to break your legs.
You know, oh, don't put her out.
Yeah, that's the part. So, if you're going to make a comment, if you wish, on
anesthetic.
why you think that is, I feel like the reason she says no anesthetic, which at the moment she said it, I was like, jeez. And I still think, geez, but I'm trying to think, like, maybe it's because she wants to mimic what happened to the Shadow, the Prime version of Claire. Prime Claire broke her legs in a skiing accident. So she was conscious at the moment she broke her legs. So maybe just to be, like, as, you know, so she can describe the feeling of having her legs break. You keep her conscious so that when she's asked, she'll be able to spontaneously know. But man, yeah, that was like creepy as hell. So what?
But I feel like it's not like how did it feel like? Wait, I don't believe that you really broke your legs because you were skiing. It sounds more like some people knocked your legs around
while you were asleep.
It sounds more like misery. Were you really following a author?
So what?
No. So my belief is this it's of the thing like she has to make her tough. You know, she's my strong girl, so keep her awake. You know, so she can. You know, it'll fuel her hate.
Right. So she can channel that anger against the Prime, because all the stuff that she's like, oh, you must hate me now. But remember, it's the Prime world that did this to you and your parents. So channel that we just broke your legs to hate. They did it. It's their problem. So yeah, I agree that.
And it's funny,
reasonable.
like I didn't realize. It's later when she notices that in her wheelchair with her legs propped up. That's when her little boyfriend Spencer holds her hand, and that's when Mira notices that they're getting close.
The look on her face. It shows that shot of Mira just kind of doing the. And then next scene, Spencer's gone. There's an empty desk. Now, she claims he went to the other side. It's possible. It's possible we could have an adult Spencer show up at some point as like another subplot moment, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. I think it's more likely Spencer was dealt with.
Is it the next day? Because I feel like she was walking around.
Well, you're right. You're right. She is walking around. It is later that there's a moment, though, where they're like snuggling or something. Yeah. And that's when Mira does the little head turn thing. And then I think we see Spencer's
it's
gone.
It's the next scene, I think, or something. But next
they
scene,
give a little more time that they're still getting to know each other. There's a bit where Spencer walks by the classroom and sees her, and she's like, Mira takes note. You have a love interest that is distracting you from your duties.
Yes.
So then you get the Spencer's gone. She's like, where did Spencer go? Oh, you feel sorry for him, don't you? Smack.
Yeah.
She smacks her like, you're not a person, you're a soldier.
You're not some stupid girl.
Yeah.
Falling in love.
So don't fall in love. You're a tool, basically. So all of that's just horrible and abusive and ouch.
It is. It's terrible.
Anyway. I have not seen the movie Red Sparrow, but I imagine there's some of that in Red Sparrow, where it's like, you will be a tool of the government. In this case, it's not the government per se. I don't seem like it's a private organization.
Well, yeah. Well, we don't know.
We do see Pope is involved.
We know that there's a faction, is what they're told. So they don't agree in the government. So there's a faction, maybe some wet works or something.
So we do see then, years later,
she's a teacher.
Claire is still there. She still hasn't been activated.
Yes.
And she's now teaching. And so she goes through the history. And she also mentions, like, so what are some differences? And so we learn, again, we just confirm a few differences. One of it is that cigarettes, big no-no in the mirror universe. I guess maybe they...
At least in Europe, anyway.
They weaken people's immune systems or something. I don't know. But that was... So cigarettes have been outlawed. The cell phone technology is not as good. And then the third thing, why am I blanking on it? I don't think. Oh, they don't eat pigs.
Oh yes,
because the flu was just like a swine flu. It was spread through pigs.
Yes, I feel like she said the pigs run free or something.
Yeah, the pigs run free.
So I guess they they jailed the pigs in their world.
You know what they probably did? They probably hired those robotic dogs from Black Mirror to shoot them all. There's no pigs left. Oh yeah, the dogs got them all. See, maybe they're in the mirror board. All right, never mind. That's a Black Mirror
people have
reference.
Little pigs in like glass things shouting
So they don't eat pork, and apparently that's how the flu got spread.
They don't dig on swine.
So that's pretty big, though. It's a big info that
Sure.
This flu is the reason that the two universes are different, theoretically, and it was spread through swine flu, or some version of that. So interesting. Okay, so meanwhile, back in the Prime universe.
Meanwhile?
Well, yeah, good point. Well, it was not an entire flashback. Good point. But back to modern day, in a modern day break, it was like flashback. We see Quayle freaking out. His wife is the mole. Oh my God, this is horrible.
He's in a little bit of denial. He finds a reason for her to leave so that he can invite Mirror Howard over to look around. Yeah. So he's like saying, "Oh, maybe it's the help, or maybe."
Yeah, right. Maybe somebody came in, and Howard keeps going, "Yeah, maybe." So the whole time that Howard's saying maybe, he's looking for clues, and he knows what to look for, ostensibly because he's from the mirror side, and he kind of maybe knows how these things operate. So, for instance, he's probably like, they have a cyanide pill. Where would you keep a cyanide pill? Probably in your medicine cabinet. Oh, there it is. She's a mirror spy. So that's the big, evidence is here in her fish oil tablets, she's got a cyanide capsule.
Why can't it be an almonds pill?
Yeah, it smells like almonds. Oh, it's almonds. It's marzipan, which I hate, by the way. Okay, anyway, that would be like cyanide to me. Taking a marzipan something. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, Howard basically, Mirror Howard convinces Quayle that it's your wife.
Yep. And says, "Hey, to play it off.
Play it along. She's been burned, but she doesn't know she's been burned. So we can use this to our advantage." Yep. Quayle's like, "Well, okay." But see, here's the problem. Quayle's bad at his job. He's so bad. All right, anyway.
Perfect for Claire.
Perfect for Claire, right. He's a perfect patsy.
Crappy spy, just to make her heart go crazy.
Yeah. So, Yeah, in fact, Dialect was one of our commenters that who mentioned, he predicted, I say it's a he, I'll go with it. Dialect, the ambiguous gender person, predicted that Quayle was going to die. Quayle did survive through this episode.
Yes.
But I like the odds of Quayle buying it, and we'll talk more about that as we get to the end of this episode. But yeah, he's going to have a hard time surviving. All right, anyway. So, there's a big birthday party for Quayle. Everybody comes over. Yes. He is just sulking and drinking. Probably shouldn't be drinking in that moment. In fact, Claire tries to get him to stop drinking. He's like, I'm going to drink in front of you just to show you. Just to lose my wits at this moment when I should be really cautious because you're a spy and you're right in front of me. Nope. How many more can I drink? All right. So he gets way too drunk and then decides to make a toast where he decides to test her memory. Claire's memory of how they met and all these specific occasions. And it takes her a second. She has to process but then she does it. She knows everything, and it floors him that she's that good at it. And then she's talking about the broken legs to her dad, the diplomat who's at the party. And again, she's just and he's watching from a distance. You get to see this Jesus Christ. She's good at her job. That's what it's like to be good at your job. Okay, so then we cut back to there's adult Claire. An older Mira approaches her and is like, it's time.
Yep.
We have a great chance. Prime Claire is about to become engaged to this guy in strategy.
Right.
And once they're married and way into it and he gets his position, it's going to be tougher to put you in.
Yeah, because that was interesting to hear. That was their moment, the window.
So we're doing this now. She meets with Pope. Pope's like, I've heard a lot about you. Yeah, you're cool. All right, great. Anyway, she takes a test about how much she knows. The whole thing when she's doing earlier on.
The test happened much earlier when
when she's a kid, but they're
which is weird that
constantly learning information.
I wonder if that's what happened to to Spencer. Maybe he failed his test.
No, I think the problem with
weird
Spencer was he was
that they didn't know. I guess maybe they periodically made sure that you were ready. Yeah. So their first test is okay, good, you're learning. You're learning what you need to know. We'll keep, having you be ready to go at any moment.
Keep learning everything you can about these people. And hope that something, obviously broken legs is a horrible thing, but imagine if, whatever, you're just hoping that your prime version of yourself, your shadow,
I just remembered
lives in a bubble. So you're like, oh my God, he lost an arm. I have to, or whatever.
I forgot about the part of the show. I just remembered now where she gets over there and she's watching her and she realizes, oh my gosh, she lost her virginity. Now I have to lose my virginity. I was like, because that wouldn't be nice. The husband oh good, I get to do it twice.
That was a pretty intense.
And
again, she's giving what she's giving up.
Another aspect of what's that? The diplomat there.
Claude Lambert.
Yeah, Claude Lambert.
He's like, I'll do it.
I'll help you out. She's like, no, thank you.
Creepy. So yeah.
She just finds somebody and
she pretty much gave herself over to this cause. Is what we're like. She's sacrificed. Herself, basically, for this cause.
Yeah, it's not like that was a pivotal moment or whatever, but yes, she's been doing it all along.
Yeah, it just shows her level of
dedication.
Yeah. So,
or how trapped she feels.
True. So she comes across to the prime world in cognito. She follows her prime around.
Sets up cameras so she can,
Sets up cameras. There's a moment where she has to interact with the neighbor. Yes. She does it flawlessly.
Yeah.
Just steps right in. I know who you are. I know our relationship. Yeah, got it. And she starts watching, through the cameras.
Yeah.
And then noting all the friends. So she's got a whole, like that. Whatever. If you're like detectives trying to solve the case, you got the wall of names. And she's done the whole thing. That screens. And she sees I'm probably skipping ahead a little bit here, but she sees this moment when Quayle, of course, is being cheating on the relationship because that's what he does.
That's what he does.
And she Prime Claire discovers this and it's like, engagement's off, get out. Of course, that Claude shows up in the rain and is like, all right, you gotta fix it. Right. So this is the moment we're gonna basically kill off Prime Claire. You're gonna step in and go and ask for forgiveness or whatever. So she hires some hitmen, incompetent at their jobs. So many people who can't do their jobs in this show. They go up and they get bested by just a woman with apparently no training who's just like caught unawares, stabs one of them, runs out, gets out of the whole apartment, like outruns them.
Yeah,
like, good on you.
Into a car, but
Yeah. Then she didn't realize that there was Terminator version of herself who was going to show up and strangle her. Yes. Which you knew there had to be, just dramatically speaking, there was probably going to be the moment where Claire has to kill herself.
Yes.
And she does, which then reflects back on the moment when we first meet Claire, and this is episodes ago, when she's talking to Baldwin and telling her how hard it is to kill your double.
Well, she doesn't phrase it that way.
Right. There's some implication, though, that like, when the time comes, will you be able to do it or something like that? And that is coming from a place of, I did it myself because I had to kill my double, which, we didn't know at the time, but we know now. And so then she has the hitmen beat her up so that gives her way back in.
Right.
I mean, she's very calculating about all this. So then she's like, oh, my house was broken into and I was assaulted and I just I'm sorry and life is so short. Let's get together again. Yeah. And so...
Suck
it! The t-shirt. We're getting a dialect one of the sucker t-shirt. So there you go. Merchandising. He was a sucker. So that plan works flawlessly. And then we cut. So something else probably in there happens, but we basically the big next event that happens is parties finishing up. Mirror Claire again because Quayle is a horrible spy or horrible at his job. He leaves a drawer open. So he takes the cigars out of the humidor. It's his excuse for sending Claire on a task. But he puts the cigars in the 2 feet away from the humidor in an open drawer. So as she's walking by, she's like, oh.
I think she was returning them. Okay, let me put the thing in. Let me check.
What? And that's a good point. He sent her on a task to replace the humidor. So he knows she's got to be in that room opening the box. And yet... he left that exposed, so she obviously sees it. She already had suspicions because of the way he was testing her. Yeah. But that seals the deal. It's like, okay. So now she's on full alert for how to deal with this problem. He confronts her, even though Mira Howard's like, play along.
Yeah, see, you're characterizing that, though, as being a bad spy. And I'm characterizing that as he's not going to do it. It's not worth it to him to have to be, it's like his objectives aren't the same as Howard's.
Sure.
He doesn't have this, I'll save whatever. It's like,
I'm just saying,
he's a bad spy because he should be able to, figure out what the real plan is. So he should be able to sacrifice himself, and he does not want to.
I'm thinking, though, I hear what you're saying, but I also feel like from his own self-preservation. At this point, he's in real danger.
Yes.
He's in his life is in danger and his freedom. I mean, if not his life,
we certainly don't have any impression that he's anywhere near as capable as she does.
Yeah.
But he doesn't know. Maybe he's too stupid not to know.
But so he has now confronted a spy who he also knows is an assassin who killed his actual girlfriend. He doesn't know when she was inserted, but he doesn't know that
he doesn't know that she was responsible. She could have had it done.
Good point. But for a practical matter, she is an assassin. But,
for all he knows,
but very capable spy who's been duping him for years is very good at what she does.
Yes,
and he has now cornered her. He wants her to take the pill, but she's like, "Oh, it's gone bad because I now care about our daughter."
So you assume that it's a ruse.
I'm not assuming, but
it sounds like you said that. That's what it sounded like.
Okay, here's my reasoning why it might be a ruse that she's using the kid as a ruse. I mean, it makes more sense that the kid is something she cares about.
Yeah,
I got it. But it's the same reason that they didn't
That's
want
what the show was.
They didn't want Spencer.
It's not like
they didn't want Spencer around because she was going to care about Spencer.
I have to imagine the birth of my child to come up with a lie.
But I'll say this:
the TV show wants you to know that it's important to her.
But the fish oil tablets, I will say that is not a year's supply of fish oil tablets.
Speaking as a fish oil,
as someone who TMI, I take fish oil tablets, and I have a jar of that's like 180 tablets that's bigger than the jar that she was using. So let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She's got 180 tablets. She got 6 months supply. Why does she then put a defective? Because the cyanide capsules last a year. That's what we were told earlier in the episode. Right. Oh, you got to replace them every 12 months. So sometime after this thing went bad, she stuck it in her fish oil tablets, is what that's assuming. Which sounds weird to me. Now, you had an idea that you just thought she was using it as a reminder.
Right, or even, like, if this baby is a profound change in her, as she's saying, and I think it makes sense that it is, that, you know, she's, like, holding on to it. She's still holding on to this idea that she's doing this stuff, and she's still doing things that they ask her to do, but in her mind, she's like, this is a way to sort of like, I still want to kill myself? Maybe I don't want to kill myself anymore. You know, it's like she didn't think she'd be exposed, but now she's exposed, and now it's come down to what's she going to do at this point in life. So, you know, it's all part of that is like for her to change, you know, this massive change having a baby, you know, who knows? We haven't known anybody else have a baby, even it's interesting now to think about the Heinrich and not Heinrich. Heinrich
was the butcher.
That's right. He's somebody who's, you know, an expatriate or whatever, and living on another side,
right?
And also the two women who are living together,
right?
So you know, it's like I think they have very limited ideas, both about what happens when you decide to go into the side or whatever, and this is another aspect of it. Probably haven't had anybody else who has a child.
Right, and if you were to think of a better place to raise your kid, whether it's this side or the other side, it seems like this side is for the safety of your child is probably a better place. Unless you're going to introduce a pandemic to the place and kill everyone, which she's kind of in charge of. So
I had and last week suggested, I guess, that she can just take the baby to the side, where it sucks.
Yeah, right. It wouldn't still the quality of life for the kid probably still goes down, even if she successfully takes the kid over. But it depends on how obsessed she is with taking this place down. Has her time here in the prime world softened her stance on everyone's evil, they all need to be killed off?
Right. I feel like she never, you know, she may buy into their whole thing of it was them that did it, but it feels like she's been led to that. Yeah. To me, you know.
So you feel like it's a reasonable possibility that she turns, and that maybe they're going with an idea of she no longer becomes the villain of this story, that she is she can play both sides. She starts playing she's a double agent.
But I would think though that I feel like of the two people, her husband and her, that you know they'd want to punish her more. I mean, in terms of story wise, because you know it's like. I mean, for him, you know, while we've seen a lot of him, I don't think they've established as somebody who really actually should care for too much. You know.
Well, does that give him more reason to be bumped off then? If you don't, like, oh, it's a guy we're not really invested in.
Dramatically, though, when he dies, you don't lose as much.
Yeah. I just feel like, from his point of view, he has just made a huge number of blunders in a small moment. Yeah. He got drunk. He accused her in a party in a subtle way that she would get. He then pretty much accuses her, waits till everyone leaves, then accuses her, puts her in a corner. And this is a person that was spent her life learning how to adapt and become a spy. So he knows that going in. Like, if she's pushing her corner, I would think her solution could easily be okay, we need to frame this guy. All right, I can either kill him and frame him. Like, oh, he was trying to attack me and I fought him off. And by the way, look at these records he stole or whatever. Or do I just frame him while he's still alive? But, I mean, everything I did, I can totally pass off on this guy and make this work. So I feel like he's in real trouble right now. We do see from the trailer from the next episode that their private conversation goes on.
Yeah.
Like they're still in the house, the two of them apparently together, and she's saying something like, look, we're both in this now. Something like that. So there's that conversation continues. How do you end that conversation?
Right.
You're like, all right, let's you know what? Let's talk about this in the morning. I'm beat. You know, like I don't. Anyway, so
yeah, no. I mean, if he's smart, he doesn't stay there. I mean, you know, and
I feel like it's possible that what you could see is that she frames him, and then it's up to Mira Howard as the only person that really knows the truth, other than Quayle, to like bail him out somehow.
Bail him out?
Yeah, to like get the truth out. Like Quayle wasn't your spy; he's the stupid dupe. The actual spy.
Yeah, I feel like the way to save him,
Claire,
is to expose Claire. And now I'm thinking that maybe he does die, and then Claire works with Howard, or Howard works with Claire.
Yeah, I think Quayle. I think Dialect in our comments was right that Quayle's days are numbered. Now, whether he dies next episode, maybe. He's only 3 episodes left in this season.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, he might make it 2 episodes, but I feel like it's not so crazy to think that maybe Quayle dies.
Now, who kills him? I think Claire would be the most likely candidate to kill him, right?
I don't know. I mean, the other two. What's his name? His lieutenant.
Oh,
there.
Sure.
They're both like they got 2 guys that are wanting to kill him.
Aldrich, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you got the 3 terrorists hanging out somewhere that Claire's dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
But she does. I mean, they hate each other. I get that. I mean, I don't think Claire has any feelings for Quayle at all.
You think they hate each other?
Well, I mean, that bit where she's like, "You should stop drinking," and he's like, "Man." Now, obviously, he hates her because she's a spy, but they weren't really that fond of each other before.
It does appear as if they've had some marital difficulties before. That behavior,
and he cheats on her all the time, and she knows.
Right.
She's actually can follow him on the phone. We learned that. Oh yeah, the code is the same on the phone.
Right.
So she knows everything.
So he knows where. That's where. Yeah.
So she knows that he's not invested.
Right. Well, she seems more apologetic to him than she should be. So it's like she knows that the original Claire wanted to dump him because of he's unfaithful, and it's not like he can even claim that. Oh well, that was just no. That's who.
So I'm just saying,
is.
if she was able to kill her double, even though he's the father of her child, I think she'd be like, I can raise the kid myself.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
anyway.
Right, but I think she is souring on the mission,
Gotcha.
because she wants a better
and it's true
child.
that once she bumps off Quayle, assuming that happens, her ability to now be an actual spy is very limited. Like or to get info.
Yeah,
I mean she has
to do it through her father.
She has to do it through her father, probably.
But it's still going to be difficult, I would imagine, because there's going to be some, okay, let's make sure we know exactly what's going on.
And then actually, she's not even going to have that ability because probably Mira Howard's going to spill the beans on her. She doesn't know that at this point. And as she's thinking through her options right now, she's not factoring in Mira Howard probably into the
Well, she
equation.
certainly doesn't know how he figured it out.
Yeah. Yeah, good point.
And we don't know how much Heinrich gave up, right?
Right.
So, I feel like, I don't know. She doesn't know if her husband figured it out himself, which he should not be doubtful of.
or
or there is someone who's helping him.
To show again the incompetence of
and she doesn't know who he's told.
Right.
So
right, which maybe she'll try to figure out next week when they're talking. If she starts trying to get that information, then you'll know. Get ready. As soon as he's like, "Oh, no one else knows really," because he's probably not going to give up Mira Howard. Then anyway, to show the incompetence again of the hitmen that she hired, there's the moment when she's now standing in front of her corpse, and the guy's like, "Oh, was that your sister?" And she's like, "Yeah, we need to get rid of identifying information." "Oh, you mean like her wallet?"
Yeah.
No. Like, these people, like...
Well, you're assuming that they know.
Yeah, I guess they don't. There must be... They must be prime universe assassins, not hitmen from the other side.
Yeah, but one thing it makes me think of actually mirrors...
Fingers and teeth.
A discussion that's going on now about whether or not teachers should have guns to be in situations like that. And apparently, cops aren't that great at shooting people. People who are supposed to be trained. So, it's in a way, it's like we're used to a number of things in movies and TV shows where people run around and barely get shot and hit. But sometimes they're very good. So it's hard to know what it's like in real life where, people shoot at other people. Somebody is incompetent because they can't shoot anybody, but maybe it's just difficult to shoot people.
Yeah, what you need, like in Under Siege, you got a whole military boat that's taken over, but the cook knows how to make bombs out of microwave stuff and knows karate. So it's good.
Thinking even through the show, how much the really talented spies get over because most spies aren't that good.
Yeah, right. It is interesting. I like the fact that not everyone is just taken for granted that everyone's a crack shot.
Yeah.
Everyone is smarter than everyone else in the room. Everyone, no, there's different levels of people get one over on each other anyway. So it's very, very cool.
I think it was important. That's why. I think Ian, when he came to the Prime Howard last week, even though he didn't know it was Prime Howard, how he stacked the room first to have the people, and then it's like kind of how they did it in the second episode where it was the Mirror Howard and the two guys like, "Come on, let's go to the car," and that's when they make their stupid mistake. They were doing just fine until they got into the car.
I'll show you my gun. Okay, I'm gonna sit like this. Oops, I'm dead. So yeah. Anyway, that was episode 7. And we will be back for episode 8 next week. Really looking forward to seeing how this resolves itself. In the meantime, we will be back with Altered Carbon. Yes. We're going to do episodes 5 and 6 in one go. So come back for that. Thank you, everybody. Subscribe if you want to get notifications on things. Make comments. I do this. I don't know why, but... Make comments and we'll go pew 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 back. So thank you very much.
Missed him. You missed everybody.
Oh, damn it.
The worst spy.
I'm the worst spy ever. Damn it. Bye, everybody.